special guest today, Brendon Vetuskey. I said it right.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
From Hot Wheels, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Just enjoying sunny Southern California here and another fine day. So you're a little bit further up north, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I'm in British Columbia, Lower Mainland. It is actually really nice here today too. I think
Cool.
it's like 23. What is that in Fahrenheit? Like
Celsius, yeah. You and the rest of the world
80.
using the metric system. I have no idea.
It's still warm. It's going to be in the 30s, which would be in the 90s, I guess.
Yeah, give or
The
take.
mid 90s.
Around there. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the week it'll be, or yeah, it'll be that hot. So yeah,
Nice.
we're similar weather. I see you are in the garage and you've got a
Yes.
nice little project behind you, or is it already done? Or can you hear me?
Uh,
Let's hear about that.
no, it's still a project. It's this is a '56 Chevy. After selling my Triassic 5 last November, my dad let it out that I could build him a car.
Oh,
So
nice.
so it was like, okay, cool. Let's build you a car. What do you want? And he, he was born in 1949 because I'm a little bit older. He's a little bit older, and so he graduated high school in the '60s. So '50s hot rods were kind of the thing for him, and his first car ended up, it was a '56 Chevy, but his parents would not allow him to have a car in high school. So he did not get to keep it very long, and he ended up selling it, and that was that. And then after he got married, he had a family, had me, and never really had a hot rod since. So I don't know. We just agreed that hey, let's get you a '56 Chevy. So it's kind of a coincidence. It's not meant to be in the footsteps of the Triassic 5, but it just happens to work out. So
Is it the color that he wanted or that
um,
he had, I guess?
the the agreement that we had was I wanted to find a car that had a decent paint job, that was solid body, something that I didn't have to tear apart and build because him being 73 and he lives in Hamlin, New York. It's a little bit west of Rochester near Lake Ontario, Niagara Falls, and all that. So summers are short. April to October is about all you can register a summer car for. And
Yeah.
between the rain and the construction and everything else that happens up there, there's only so many days in the summer for him to drive. So I didn't want to be spending years building a car for him to age out of it or not be able to drive it anymore. So the
Hmm.
idea is to get this to him this year, which I'm still hoping and planning to do if I can. And it's pretty far along. I can walk you through it if you'd like to see it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, give me a second here to fumble with the phone. Got
So it's the same. It's the same here for the seasons. I mean, I have two summer cars and still working on one.
okay.
Unfortunately, yes, we can't drive them all year round because of snow and ice and stuff like that. So, okay, I see
Right.
what you got going there.
Yeah, so this I bought this. It was I would say it was just a dated street rod. It had Kragar SS's. It was a dropped front end, and it just had a gray interior that was just billet everything, billet column shifter, billet steering wheel, and it was just hideous and dated in my opinion. So I've tore the engine out, the drivetrain, the interior, and bringing it back to like a '60s gasser feel. Some similarities to the Triassic 5, but
Hmm.
fresh in my fresh build, so it was easy to remember what I did. But I painted the interior black, got black carpet, put some black '60s seats in there, had the rear seats recovered with material that I used on the doors. So
Yeah, I
it
like
still
that.
has the gray headliner from before. I didn't monkey with that. I put some turned gold metal on the dash as a little insert. There is and also a dash mounted tack that's obligatory for any '60s gasser, in my opinion. And most importantly, I returned the clutch pedal to this car. This car was originally a manual,
Oh,
came to me with a
nice. I like
column
it.
shift automatic, and making it right. So it's got an original clutch pedal back in, and yeah, you can see here this is chrome. It's blocked off. There's no like Prindle or the well, actually they had it. It was a 2-speed power glide, so it was not even a Prindle orientation, but a different shift layout. And yeah, so now it looks like that. I've also replaced all the side glass, all the weather stripping. So the doors slam nice and solid again. Windows roll up and down real nicely. did all the rubber inside here, all the whiskers and stuff like that too. And then the engine had Mark Milholland. He runs all the Hot Wheels conventions, but by day he builds race engines, and he built the 496 in my Triassic 5. So I had him build a stroker small block. I wanted something a little bit more manageable for my dad, just a low maintenance, but yet still fun. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a 3.875-inch stroke 350. So it gives like a 391 cubic inch, something odd like that. It's a little bit bigger than a 383. Aluminum heads, have Phytech fuel injection. The headers will be fender wells. They're out getting coated right now. So that is my holdup in here. So I have the brakes system removed, and I can finish plumbing all the brake lines and stuff. Once I get the headers in, I can put the master cylinder back on and finish that part up. Right now, I'm just working on, I put the AC fan and condenser back in just actually right before this call. And I wired some relays up over
That's
here in the
from
second.
stock though, right? At that time, it wouldn't have had AC, right?
Uh, Very, very rare, but no, not in a gasser. But it's humid
Mm-hmm.
in upstate New York, and I
Oh
just want
yeah,
to make sure
no,
he's
for sure.
comfortable. And this
Yeah.
car came with vintage air. It was rewired, but still fixing some things, doing it a little bit better. Again, the Phytech, I've got junction block there, and I'm just using relays and stuff, so it's not overloading the electrical system. So I'll set the headlights up with relays as well as the electric fans and all that good stuff. So um, just working on that right now, and then rebuilt the front end. I put risers on there so I can get the front end up a little bit higher, getting
Mm-hmm.
rid of the drop spindles. I put stock height spindles back on and got rid of the front bumper. Although it's hanging over here on the wall, I built what looks like a gasser frame, like that little racing push bar in the front,
Yeah.
but this will bolt on the frame in the factory spot. There's the original horns and all that. So just some
Nice.
fun things. And
It's beautiful. I'm sure he's gonna love it
he's
when
gonna
it's
love it.
done.
Thank you. I still have to come up with a theme for graphics and deco. I don't want to just hand him a plain car, but I'm not
Yeah.
not sure
Well,
what I'm gonna
of
do yet. I
course.
still have to think about that one, but I have a little bit of time. And yeah, so
So I'm wondering if we're gonna see this as a Hot Wheel in the future, maybe.
that's the $1 million question. A lot of people ask me that, and no,
You
I
don't
don't
know
think
yet.
so. There's no plans for it in the works
Not
right
yet.
now. We already have a 56 in the line. I mean, there's the Big Air Bel Air, but I think Phil did one in ID, and I think it was also in the main line too. But because I'm not keeping this and all that stuff, it will just move on to my father. It's probably be hard to justify. Plus, we have a 55 gasser in the line that's doing pretty well. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the team would rather do something unique and different, not just more of the same. So
Well, you can always customize one for him. You
yes,
can have it and stick it on the dash or something.
yes, and that's exactly what I plan on doing. I bought a one of those ID 56 Chevys, and
Oh,
I will do
perfect.
that. So
Nice.
yeah, that that is the 56 and its current progress.
Any ideas on the theme that you're gonna do for the design?
Uh, no,
Well, actually, there's a
I
candy apple. There's a or no, the red apple, I think it was for the New York Toy Show.
oh
That was one theme, but that was M2 actually. That was not
yeah,
Hot Wheels.
I'm um I'm not sure yet. Still want to think about that one. Whether I want something,
Or
you
put his
know.
name on it or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, he was just simple saying, just maybe have his name on there. But I don't know. I feel
Mhm.
like I could do something a little bit more unique or fun, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. So
It's giving me a little bit of Christine vibes, just a little bit.
just because it's red, well, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's the color.
Well, I mean, a '58 Plymouth would have been Torador red, but as we
Plymouth
know,
would have been, yeah.
it was painted Spectre red, which was the GM color. The '83 and '84 Camaros and Trans Ams had. But yeah, Christine had the two tone with the white and the white top. That is just maroon, just some resale red that this car was painted at one time.
Yeah, it looks like a candy apple sort of thing. It looks really good. It looks like it's got depth to it. It's not just a flat red.
No, it's not a flat red. It's a metallic maroon. Yeah, it's not quite candy, but it's nice. So
I know that you really like Christine. You ever think about building one of her? Because
I,
they just had the 100th anniversary too. So
years ago, I built a '57 Plymouth Belvedere with that in mind. I didn't want to be a literal Christine clone. I was hoping it
yeah.
would be enough yet similar enough. But
Hmm.
I drove it. Oh, that's like Christine's. So yeah, that got old quickly. Quite frankly, it was flattering, but at the same time, I couldn't go to a gas station without being approached. I couldn't go anywhere. It was a very attention-getting car, but it was a lot of fun, a lot of work, a lot of time took to clean it because it was just so big. And a car like that with all the chrome on it, you don't want to drive it dirty. It's got to
Yeah.
look brand new.
No.
So every time I took it out, I had to like wipe it down and clean it beforehand. But
Oh, I bet. I bet.
and then I was like, never again. So having the Firebird is just nice. I could just park it, drive it, and not have to worry about any of that. So
Well, that's what I said about a black car, and then I just keep getting black cars for some reason. So,
yes, those are torturesome. Yeah, I've had
but
a
then they say the car finds you, though, right? The car picks you. So, yeah, we don't
so
have control sometimes.
yeah, that does happen. But
I should say hello to Colton and Melinda and Charles Diecast. Charles Diecast says that's a sweet 56, and his
thank.
dad restored one last year as well.
Oh, nice, nice, very
Yeah.
cool.
And then, yeah, cool. So talking about Hot Wheels, getting back to the whole Hot Wheels and your career in it,
Okay.
I don't want to ask you the same questions that maybe other people have asked you, and I don't even know because I know you've done interviews. I haven't watched a lot of them, but I kind of want to ask you a few different questions, or I think would be
Sure.
different.
Or
First one, do you actually go to the Hot Wheels aisle in Walmart and actually shop for Hot Wheels? Or
I
do you not
do,
have to because you get
but
them?
I don't do it to the frequency that I used to. I
Okay, so you still do.
collected in 1994, back when I was in college, probably before you were even born at that point.
Oh my
Uh,
God, we're not that far apart.
but yeah, so I was collecting like right before all those segment series came out, and a lot of toy stores like KB and Toys R
Mhm.
Us, they'd have clearance aisles, so you could get a lot of the old extensions or even the anniversary series really cheap, like 50
Oh
cents,
wow.
whatever. So it was really nice. So it was a great time to collect. And yeah, after a while, I amassed a lot, purged, refocus collection, focus on something else because like, yeah,
Yeah.
Ben, that and did that a couple times over the years. And then when I started designing Hot Wheels track and play sets, then I got to start designing some diecast cars a little bit here and there. And then yes, I would go and buy every Firebird I could find. I would go and buy every paint and deco variation of a casting that I had. But sooner it quickly happened that it's just now I've got those bins just full of cars, and it's like, what am I going to do with all these? Like, do I really need all these package variations, Target exclusives, Walmart exclusives, every little thing, every variation of every casting I had? I mean, it's like it multiplies. It just gets to be a lot,
So
and
the answer is yes, you do need all of them, every variation possible, every error.
it gets to be a lot.
Oh,
You know,
who are you talking to here? Have you seen how many boxes I have?
I see you trickling cars for sale. So that
Yes.
tells me that you too have enough. Because
Yeah, I do. I do. I have purged my collection many times too, still doing it. And then I'm trying to focus more on some more rare stuff, more premium stuff, and a lot of Mopar.
sure,
That's my passion, obviously, you know that. But it's hard. It's hard. And then you see something cool and then you start collecting that casting and you're like, oh
right,
crap, this is what I was not trying to do.
exactly. So what I've been doing is trying to get the first edition of each casting I've worked on.
Oh,
I've been
nice.
pretty good about the 164th vehicles, mainline RLC. The monster trucks I have not been so good at. I have many, but not all.
Hmm.
And just 164th. I mean, the 124th are just really too large. And I have a few, but it's just tough to get all of them. And after a while, because like even at work, I try to have one casting of each, and I'm already running out of space there in the cubicles. And I've got a wall display outside that holds the 124th, and it's just full. And I have 164th wall that's just full. And I've already started a second, like one of those Carney display cases with
Mm.
monster trucks. And already by the end of 24, I'm going to be full on that. And it's like, well, where do I put 25? And we keep growing the line each year, so there's more and more and more. So I'm going to have to like start putting things away and just like find a place to have them, because it just gets to be so much.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I'm running out of room. It's like half my house right now. The only room that there's not Hot Wheels in is the bathroom.
Oh,
In
well,
the
that's easy to change.
kitchen dining room actually has Hot Wheels in it. So,
Nice. Well, I here, I'm gonna take the phone off the case here real quick and show you something that you're gonna appreciate.
ooh, okay.
If I can hit the little button right. I keep There we go.
Yep.
Oh, I went
Oh,
back.
there we go.
Okay. So I'm just backing out here. On the upper shelf, I've got, just things on display. And there's some
Oh, I
guys.
like the oil cans and 124s. Yeah.
Yes. And then behind that, I've got some G machines and some
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
non Hot Wheels product. I've got a few of the cars that have been like my personal ones, Firebirds and Pontiacs. But what I want to show you is after I get past that,
Turbo.
go to basically what becomes a wall of Mopar. So
Ooh.
large vehicles and monster trucks, you'll just see a bunch of
Was
Mopar,
that Speed Racers? Okay. What else we got? Monster
and then
trucks,
trucks, but
plastics. Yeah.
all Mopar back there. And yes, it's buried. I mean, buried behind supplies, Pontiac parts, car parts, fuel injection, tools, all sorts of crazy stuff. But yes, I do have a Mopar display here in my garage.
Well, I approve. I have to say that I officially approve.
Nice. I thought you'd like that.
Of
Yes.
course. Okay, so you're talking about like your first castings and trying to find them again. What was your absolute first casting that you designed?
The first Hot Wheels 164th casting is the 67 Firebird for 2010.
Okay.
And then right behind that was the 67 Chevelle. Those were cars picked by Phil and those running the line at the time, but I was like, ooh, can I work on the Firebird? And
Nice.
so yeah, they
So,
let me. And then after that worked out, they let me do another one, and then did some more in 11, then did even more in 12 and 13. It just went from there to the point of like, all right, he's got to come on over to the diecast team. So,
oh, okay. So you didn't start off on that team.
oh no, I started out as a temp contract employee working on track and play sets for like Trick Tracks, which was
Okay. Yeah.
track and play set line that had just it was 1 year through in development, but it was just about to hit shelves when I started there in September of '07 because it was new for '08. So the first line was done, but then I worked on year 2 and year 3, and yeah, there was 3, 8, 9, and 10, and then a couple, just maybe 1 or 2 items in 11, and then it was done. But we had a whole line proposed for it, but a lot of it got dropped at that point.
Wow. So you started off as a temp and you never left.
No, never left. I left a full time job to take the temp job just to get my foot in the door at Hot Wheels. So
Wow, that's really cool. Okay,
yeah,
so what was what's your favorite that you worked on throughout the years? Because there's been so many.
there have been a
Oh,
lot. I like different ones for different reasons. Phil has the best answer. I mean, it sounds almost like pre-canned, but it's a good answer, and his is the next one, and I think that's the right attitude to have. But I mean, I will be honest and selfish. A really One of my favorites still is the '67 Firebird, the custom one that I did. That was a
mhm.
replica of my own car because I built the
Yeah,
car, and then I got to design a Hot Wheels based on my own car. So
and
that
that's the video that you just posted too, right?
yes,
Or
yeah,
you shared about.
yeah, that was the one. Yeah, and we filmed that back in 19, and it was on Motor Trend on Demand, but it was never, or at least I had never found it on YouTube or anywhere public for the longest
Mhm,
time. So
mhm.
it was just uploaded, and I was like, ooh, so I could share it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna. It would be really cool if I could do some content like that with one of your cars.
Absolutely. Me
drive it down the track. I like the whole racing with the Hot Wheels, and
Yeah,
then she was driving it down the track. That's pretty cool.
yeah. So yes, I raced my own car with my own car.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Motor Trend, I thought that I would show the General Mayhem,
Yes, that was a lot of fun
which
to work on too.
okay, so tell us about it because you've done a lot of different chargers
Yes, I've
for
I've got
RLC and
my first ones were in the 2011 line at the 1970 Charger and the 2011 Charger RT, and of course the let's see the 2015 the SRT Hellcat Charger and Challenger. I worked on those. And then yeah, the Elite, if you remember the Dom's Fast and Furious, the 1 to
mhm,
18 scale and the
yep.
1/43 scale, worked on those because there was both the Elite and a not special edition, but a heritage one. It was like a cost reduced version of it, a simplified one,
Mhm.
as well as yeah, the 70 Charger that brought over to the Monster Trucks line, the 69 Charger in RLC, the General Mayhem. So, yeah, you might say I have a soft spot for B bodies.
Yeah, that's a good soft spot to have, actually. It's like the best body style, I have to
Yeah.
say.
Yes.
This is another one of my favorite RLCs.
Okay. Yeah, that one was
Superb.
that Bill Reelman, the 70.
Probably. I know it wasn't yours, but I had
Yeah.
to show it. And it's
That,
actually, I did a video opening this, and I had the most views I've ever gotten on the video. And people are just like, you are nuts for opening this, but it's just so pretty.
that is a pretty one. I like that. I always love the green. Yeah, the it's funny. You mentioned that General Mayhem. If you look closely and compare it to the 69 Charger, and I have this here by coincidence. I did not know that you had that there, and I didn't plan for this, but I brought this for another reason.
Hmm.
The sculpt of that was modified from this sculpt. Once we did
Yeah,
this,
okay.
I have to say I'm quite proud of it. Came out pretty nice, and used it again on converting that to a 68 for the General Mayhem.
Yeah, that's a sweet one. This is really hard to find too.
Is it really?
It is. It is because you could only get it if you subscribed, but it wasn't as easy to get as the Rots and Datsun that
Okay.
they had previous.
Hmm.
This one's just like impossible. I went to a couple conventions, scouring all the rooms trying to find it, couldn't find it.
Okay.
So that's the only one that I have, and I
I
love it.
yeah, having worked on it, seeing a few pre-production samples, couldn't let them go to waste. So yes,
Did you
able
get to see
to.
the real car though?
I have seen the real car,
But not before you
SEMA
designed,
stuff
yeah.
like that, but not out in the wild like on any of those trips or anything like that.
Hmm.
The I know they have another one coming, but I'm not sure if they've publicly unveiled it yet. So I'm not going to say which one that one was, but I did work on it, and I was able to go to their warehouse in Carson, which is about 20 minutes north of me, and get a lot of good reference photos of that one. So was able to make that one fairly accurate. Other than the wheels, we didn't have those wheels in our tooling bank, so we used the closest we could get. But
Can you tell us like if it's like a Chevy or a Dodge or
I'm not
is it?
sure if they've unveiled it yet. I don't want to.
Oh, okay, okay.
The clue that I gave is probably close enough. A savvy, roadkill person could figure it out that knows our Hot Wheels line as well. So without
Okay.
getting myself in trouble or anything like that, I'm just going to stop because I really don't know if they've unveiled it yet or not. So
Okay.
I'm going to wait.
You
But
are working
it
on
probably
oh, I'm gonna have to search up and see if I can find some clues. Maybe it is, I don't know. But you did just work on a new charger for the RLC line, right? Orange charger? Is it orange?
the well,
No, yellow. Yellow.
no. Long story short, I design the castings and Steve Vandervate does the deco. So
Mm,
I make the canvas and he paints it. So
okay.
once I was done with the casting that was originally released like this, I wash my hands of it and that's it. Then Van takes over and figures out, what colors he wants to make and where and all that good stuff. He picks the wheels and stuff. Unless we're like developing a new wheel rim for a product, then
Hmm.
I mean, I'll give input and just say, hey, I'd love to see this, or can we do that? But he's got to weigh it in with all the other vehicles that he's working on to make sure we're not just like introducing all one color or stuff like that because we want to have a variety of vehicles and themes and styles. So yeah, I haven't worked on that Charger in several years.
Oh, okay. Another question for you. Is there anything that you want to do at Mattel that you have not done yet? Or any ideas that something you'd like to see there, maybe?
Many. There's yeah. I mean, as a designer, we're always coming up with ideas, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of vehicles that I would love to work on. One in particular, and I still haven't found a home for it yet, but it's the '69 AMC SC Rambler. That
Oh, okay.
I would
Yeah.
love to have. It's hard to pitch that one in mainline because of the funky hood scoop.
Mhm.
It would be compromised. Um, it's hard to pitch an RLC because it's so obscure that
Mhm.
at the risk
Not
of
everyone would like it. Yeah.
it doesn't have the mass appeal that say Jimmy's Datsuns or Porsches have like right now. There are trends
Mhm.
we have to be mindful of and stuff. So I have to pick and choose my battles. Doing some obscure cars. I try to squeeze one or two in the line a year. I was able to get that Street Freak Javelin in the line recently, which coincidentally AMC, but the argument there being that it's such a different, wild looking vehicle that as opposed to just a stock muscle car or this or that. But I'm not giving up. I just haven't found a home for it yet. So hopefully one of these days soon.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be pretty sweet. I love AMC.
Me
A
too.
gremlin would be cool.
Yes, it would.
I could see that as an RLC
Yeah, yeah,
with
me
like
too.
some accessories or something, like you did with the van,
Hmm.
the tradesman, and the doors open and you had all sorts of weird stuff inside. That would be really cool. I could see something similar. Maybe
Yes.
like a roof rack or something. I don't know.
Hmm. I will have to give it some thought. Our next model year line is coming up soon. But yeah, I do try to get a cool Mopar in the line in RLC each year. So you've
Thank
seen
you.
the Power Wagon with the swivel chassis, the
Yeah.
Willock swivel chassis, of course, the Charger. And I have another cool one I'm working on in 24. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to like it. I know I'm going to love it. Um, let's see. Yeah, so try to represent each year.
Okay, well, thank you for making sure that Mopar's in there every year. I like that. And I think it would be really cool if maybe the next RLC or something that you're working on, if we could get the exclusive sneak peek on it. I don't know, maybe think about that. See if we can make that happen.
I will see if we can make that happen, but it's not my call. We have our marketing team who's in charge of the line. And it's their responsibility. I don't know what kind of commitments they have,
Hmm.
whether other people, our own Mattel Creations site. I mean, there's just things I'm not privy to on the greater, the business side of things. But
Hmm.
if there's an opportunity, I will keep it in mind. But that's about all I can say for that. I can't.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Okay, I'm just
The
trying
last
to check
time,
the chat here.
yeah, I know they like to unveil things at the convention, and they work pretty closely with the Milhollands and stuff for that too. So,
Yeah, and so
but
I will be at that show.
if
You're going to
you're
be
there,
there too,
if
right?
you're, yeah, if you're there, you might be able to see something up close and quickly get some content out. You'd be
Okay, well, yeah,
invited
we'll have
to
to
other
work on
people,
that.
but yeah,
Okay, and then so you were just in Malaysia? We were
Malaysia,
at a show, right?
Thailand,
Tell
yeah, for
tell
work.
us about that show.
Those were not shows. That was
Oh,
work. Um, there were some internal projects that I was requested to help out on, and I had a week-long project in Thailand, and then at the same place we had a second thing that we do, working on efficiencies and stuff like that. So we were there, but that was split between our Thailand plant and our Malaysia plant. So there was a whole bunch of employees that went over for that. So we had a group that went over that first week, and then another group that came the second week, and then we all went home.
oh, nice. Okay, I thought you were at a show, but you
No,
do get invited to shows abroad as well, right?
I do. I will be back overseas later in August. The Hot Wheels Legends events in both Jakarta and Manila. I'll be
Oh,
there
cool.
well as I think the local marketing team is preparing a whole schedule of events for me. So whether it's interviews or different things that they're doing, so they will put me to work. But yeah,
Nice.
I will be over there in August. But next weekend I will be in Nebraska. There's the Midwest Diecast Convention, and then the weekend after that there's uh, Magical Weekend of Cars in Orlando.
Oh, right. You're going to that one. Okay, cool.
Are you going to that one?
No, I'm not going to that one.
Okay, then I won't see you there.
No, you won't. You won't see me until October
Oh
because
wow.
that'll be the LA show.
Yes, yeah. So I'll be there for that, and I think I have. They were talking about an event in Brazil in September, so I'm waiting to hear back on confirming that
Oh,
too.
wow.
Could be quite busy, and
Yeah, I'd say so. Between work and like personal, actually, it's all work, I guess. Every single convention that you go to is pretty much all work.
yeah, it keeps us busy between the travel and the actual events that we're partaking in. So it's that eats up some time that could be used to develop new castings to have on your show.
And you're gonna have yes, and then you're gonna have to get your hand ready for all the signings because your arm's gonna fall off.
Nah, that's easy. That's the easy part.
So tell me something else about your career in Hot Wheels that maybe everyone wouldn't know.
Okay.
Anything.
Well, my first job out of school was at a place in New Jersey. It was called Kid Designs, and
Oh, okay.
I got that job largely in part because I mentioned I collected Hot Wheels on my resume, and
Really? Okay.
they acquired a license to do electric toys for Hot Wheels. So I was the right guy at the right place at the right time. So I got the job and got to work on several projects for Hot Wheels. And the first thing that came to market was a line called Scream Machines. It was probably 1998, 99 or so, and they were slightly overscale. We couldn't make them true 164th. It was a licensing agreement. We couldn't have rolling wheels, again, licensing agreement, but it was four cars. It was like the Way Too Fast, the Solar CX4, the Diora, and I think the Twin Mill of the four that were made
Hmm.
and produced.
Hmm.
And you can find them online every now and again. Sometimes I see them at conventions.
I
Kind
had
of.
the full set.
Oh, did you? Had
Hmm.
one.
And they all still work too.
Nice. But the one you don't have, they tooled up for year two, but they never produced it. Was a tail dragger.
Oh,
So
that would have been cool.
have first shots of that, but not any like finished, or they're just like molded in black unfinished. But
Oh.
they tooled it up, so there was a tail dragger of that was intended to be in the line, but never made it.
Hmm. And that was something that you worked on pretty early on.
Yes, so those were the first Hot Wheels products I ever officially worked on,
Oh,
and then
wow.
was a room alarm and some other licensed items that were just basically here, take this existing product and kind of theme it as Hot Wheels. So a few other things came out like that, but that was um, that was it. And then I left that job and went to another toy company. Was there for a number of years, and then found my way to Mattel. But I was able to visit Mattel in 1998 as part of a licensing design summit. They invited all their licensees out, so that was my first trip to California and my first time seeing Mattel.
Oh, wow. Yeah, my first time, well, only time at Mattel was last year. I guess it was a year ago. That was really cool to see
Nice.
all the design stations and like parts and how you guys made everything and not just Hot Wheels, but other brands within Mattel as well. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Didn't make it to the store yet, though. One day.
Yeah, odd hours these days. I don't think they're open every day of the week. If you were there on the wrong day, then yeah, it wouldn't have been open. But
Hmm. Well,
another
I
time.
was. So and there's always another time. I'd like to go back again. That'd be really cool.
Well, when you're out here in October, you can try then.
Yeah, that's true. Because there's not a lot to do on the off times of the convention. I found that there was a lot of like free time, so
Well,
it'd be good.
I guess it depends on your definition. If you're going to stay in the hotel and just walk the halls, then sure. But I mean,
Yeah, that's what.
do in LA. I mean, whether you're a foodie and you want different restaurants, I mean, you can find any cultural themed food. There's tons of automotive stuff between museums like the
Mhm.
Peterson, the Wally Parks, the Nethercut, the um, there's two different Lions museums. One spelled like the animal, and the other one with a Y. So you could go to either of those. There's any night of the week is a cars and coffee cruise night meetup somewhere in LA. Like
Mhm.
literally every day of the week, there is something going on. Of course, Friday night, Bob's Big Boy is the big one. Saturday morning has got tons of them. Sunday mornings, tons of them. Usually, we have a Hot Wheels Legends event that same Saturday weekend. So, plenty of car things to do.
Mhm. No, definitely. It was just that I didn't know the area quite that well, so I stuck in the hotel and tried to do everything that the convention had to offer, but there was a lot of time spent, like you said, roaming the halls and like going into the rooms and shopping a little bit too much. So it would be nice to like get out and
Yeah,
do something different.
for sure. Yeah. So, there's a lot to do. Just ask someone who lives locally and go from there.
I had tickets to Lions last year. So I never got to check it out. So I think I'm gonna try to do that. I did end up going to a little bit further though in Pomona. Well,
Okay.
actually that's a lot further, but I did go to the drag
Well,
well, yeah, drag racing
yeah.
museum. No, NHRA museum. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But
Yeah.
Peterson's looks pretty cool too.
The Peterson you can see any day of the week, so that's good to hit on a weekday. Definitely save your Saturday for the Lions one. It's actually not far from where I live in Long Beach. They're Rancho Dominguez or some small town name, but it's pretty easy to get to. It's just off the 710 freeway. But if you like Willis Gassers, if you like old American cars, it's heaven. It's an amazing, amazing museum inside, and not
Do you
just,
think
but they have building like toy store, a barber shop, an old vintage speed parts shop, and they're like rooms built and decked out with all the products inside too. So it's
oh
really
nice. Maybe I'll run into Larry when I'm there.
you probably will. Yeah, he goes there.
That would be really cool. You guys had his birthday there last
We
year,
did.
right?
Yeah, we celebrated his 80th birthday there, so we were able to close out the place like on a Sunday, and we had a whole group of people there. So it was a lot of fun. A little car show outside, and of course seeing the cars inside. But yeah,
Nice.
that was a lot of fun.
Um, you know whose birthday is in a couple days? Petty.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and
Richard Petty, it's his birthday. Sorry?
what age does he turn?
I think he's gonna be 86.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've met him only once, but I'd love to go to his museum because they have a lot of cars there.
I'll
So
bet.
that
Yeah.
would be cool.
Good for him. Wow. Congrats.
I know, and he's still doing it, still doing everything.
Well, when you find something you love, it's hard to slow down. So
Now that is so the super petty superbird. That is something that I'd love to build a replica of. That would be sweet.
they are long, very
Yeah,
long cars.
I
Have a
know. I know. And yeah, and expensive. Oh my God. Even trying to find like a trashed a shell or something would be super expensive,
yeah. They
but
seem to
it's a
be out
dream.
there. The Plymouth seem to be a little cheaper than say the Dodges. So
But like I wouldn't be able to build one from the ground up. I'd have to buy one that was, kind of resto modded out already, and that would be pretty expensive.
all right,
But hey, you can help, right?
sure. Just bring it down to Long Beach.
Yeah, I know, right? Just trailer it over. All right. So your next show is gonna be no, not the magical. You have one before. You have
Yeah,
Midwest.
the Midwest Diecast Convention. Yeah, that one.
Is that Chris Stanglers? No, who's that one?
Aaron Plum is the host of that show.
Oh, okay, okay.
So he is the one inviting us out, and I think Matt Gabe from packaging will be there as
Oh,
well.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, there'll be a few of us out there, and yeah, stop by if you're in the area.
Yeah, definitely won't be in the area.
Okay. Well, maybe you're the attendees watching the show will.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Actually, I do know a lot of people that are going to be going to that show, so it should be a
All
good
right.
one.
Well,
Is
good.
it very similar to the way all the other shows are set up?
There's a general consistency with the shows, yeah, like room to room trading, various events, a dinner, stuff like that. So yeah, signing sessions. So yeah, it seems to be a fairly standardized format.
So for the LA show, do you guys get to work on any of those convention cars or any of the previous ones? Is that something that you guys work on, or is it different people every time?
Uh,
Because I
well,
know the dinner car would be designed by whoever is being honored. I think it's Philip this year.
yeah, the usually the honoree has some involvement with the dinner vehicle, and in years past, I believe like Steve Vandervate did the graphics for the convention, but I believe now it's handled through the Millhollands and whoever they have working on it. So whether it's
Oh, okay.
Ryan Pope on, I don't know if he's designing it or if they work with someone else on the outside. I'm not quite sure, but they have been providing the artwork assets for it as of late, and then we facilitate it to get it manufactured. And Julian, I believe, still works on the packaging.
What about the castings? Who gets to pick those? Do you know?
That's usually handled between our team and the Millhollands. They make a request, and there has to be availability of the tools. I mean, if they're not like used elsewhere, or also they have to meet the costing requirements if it's too expensive,
Right.
stuff like that. So it's kind of a back and forth. So it's not just, hey, I want this and that's it. It's, are these available? And yeah, oh, but here's a contingency, things like that. So it gets worked out.
So I'm looking forward to that one and the cars. There's one that was leaked because I think there was some stolen already, and it was the Fox body that
Yeah.
we've seen in previous years. And I know you probably can't comment on what's going on with that, but it's a pretty horrible and a big issue that's going on in the diecast community right now. There's
Yes.
a lot of stolen product being sold and resold and raffled, and yeah, it's
It's
I was just talking to Melinda about it, and we're trying to stop that from happening. Hopefully.
yeah, yeah. It's a problem. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Mhm.
Being worked on. As to the details of that, I don't know, and probably
Yeah,
couldn't say
well,
even if I did. But yeah,
it just sucks because you
problem.
guys do so much hard work, you and everybody else that works on these cars, and you put your passion into it, and then somebody rips it off and it's released before it should be. So it
Right.
kind of takes away from that.
Yeah,
So that sucks, but I
it's
guess what are you gonna do, right?
yeah, it's devastating on many levels.
hmm
But yeah.
I will take a moment to say hi to Subi Diecast Customs. He
Oh, hi.
says, "Good afternoon, Jovita and Brendan. Huge fan." I'm sure he's not talking about me.
I, I would say just the opposite.
And Paul says hi, Diecast Cars and Charles Diecast. So
Cool.
cool. Yeah. Oh, and Colton is a huge fan as well. Colton is Melinda's son.
Oh, okay,
We
cool.
met Melinda at the at CJ's events, House of Cars events. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
cool.
he's so cute. He's always supporting me and watching
Nice.
my
That's great.
watching my shows. So anything else that you want to tell us or show us? I think
I,
you were saying that you might have had something that you were gonna
I am going to
show.
show you something, and
Ooh,
it's off the beaten path. It's not even a Hot
okay,
Wheels, but it is a die
okay,
car.
okay.
I'm not trying to bring your show down, but I did lose a friend today, which is kind of sad. But I'm not here to
Oh no, no,
over
no.
that.
Okay.
But I do want to share some recognition, because he was in the toy industry and he worked at a competing company back in the day. So
Did you
he
say
worked.
you lost him today?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Um, but yeah, his name was John Cook, and he was a model builder, engineer in the toy industry. There's so many people that are involved in the toy industry that don't get like that recognition. Like we as Hot Wheels designers are very lucky in that regard, because we're seen in the spotlight, and we're out there kind of being ambassadors for the brand. But I mean, there's so many like designers, engineers, people that work on the line that never get to have that recognition, or really be seen. But he
Yeah.
worked at other companies like Kenner, for example, back in the
Okay.
80s. And some of his claims to fame were working on like Star Wars play sets. He built some
Yeah.
things which have in more recent years sold for good money for like the original breadboard models and stuff. But he also worked on a line called Fast Ones, which was a competitor to Hot Wheels in the 80s. I don't know if you're familiar with that line, but it was
Hmm.
only around for maybe 2 3 years. But it was by Kenner, and their unique claim to fame was having a distinct license plate on the back of the car. So you
Okay.
would get various licensed cars as well as some of their original designs. And I know that he worked on a few of them, and he had given me some of the prototypes. So, like, for example, they had a 55 Chevy. And this is a first shot that was done.
Oh,
I
wow.
think it's called Shifton Chevy, and you can find them in black and I think one or two other colorways. But it's pretty neat. Just of course, he gave this to me on my birthday because he had a collection of the first shots and stuff. But just kind of fun having something like that that's a prototype to yet another diecast vehicle in the line.
Hmm.
And
What does the
uh,
plate say?
this one doesn't have a plate. It is just
Oh,
very
okay,
small,
because
but they
it's a
all had
yeah.
this very large wonky bumper with these taillights, and you'd have a license plate on there. But just having this 55 Chevy first shot when building my Triassic 5 was pretty cool. Now, I think
Oh.
he did work on this casting. This was another car that he gave me. It's a little wonky, kind of model A-ish Ford, but unlicensed.
Hmm.
And again, no deco, no paint, no nothing. But even just a big shut off in the cord out in the chassis, like the underside of the engine. So it's just kind of fun to see stuff like that. I mean, sure, it's not a Hot Wheels level design, especially these days. Standards have gone up, but I still
Looks
appreciate
very
like
similar.
cars from other brands.
Hmm. Hmm.
One I'm going to show you, they did a line that they tooled up, but they never manufactured. So a lot of people don't know about this,
Oh,
but
wow.
they did a line of race cars,
Okay,
and
like F1s and yeah.
this one has the taillight deco and it has a license plate on the back. I don't know if you can see it through my phone here,
I
but
can see it, but I can't read it. Yeah.
actually read it either. I'm getting too old. I'd have to. The plate itself says Fast Ones, but I can't read the state. But it has a removable action figure that comes out of it at one
Oh,
sixty
that's
fourth.
cool.
And forgive me, my hands are so fat that I can't hold it without like covering half of it. But
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
to give you context,
Hmm.
here's
Hmm.
figure next to the Chargers, since that's a scale that but it has moving arms and moving legs as something
Oh,
at that
wow.
scale. So it's really cool. But what's interesting about the car, see this little thing on the bottom, like this little tab that came out.
For
And
like
the
a track
idea
or
was that when you take the figure out, the wheels would stop rolling, like it hit the brakes, because there's a little plate inside where the driver sits, and
hmm. Hmm.
you put the driver in, and yeah, that steering wheel is die cast. That's kind of crazy molding they would do back in the day. So you could have
Hmm.
that in there, the driver in there, and then the car would roll again because now it's hitting the little mechanism in here. And of course, there was a little
Right.
switch you could hit to turn it on and off. But the story goes that they were reviewing this, and all of a sudden, it dawned on someone that they didn't want to sell a product line with cars that had wheels that didn't roll, and they dropped it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's what became of it. So there are probably a handful of these out there in the wild, but I have one of them.
But they do roll is only if you took the figure out.
If you took the figure out, but kids are kids. They're going
Yeah,
to take the
true.
figure out, they're going to lose it, and
Yeah,
then that's it.
yeah.
So
Well, that's pretty cool. And
so yeah, it's a
yeah,
very
it's
kind of rare piece that not many people would have. Let's see, I don't even, it doesn't even have legal lines on the bottom, so I mean it's still pretty early, so it doesn't say like the country of origin or anything like that.
mhm. Or
Just
what year?
no. I think this was later on, so it probably would have been 83, give or take, because it was one of the uh, extensions to the line after it had been out a couple of years, from my understanding of it. So,
And
but
you're just a little baby then?
uh, 83, no, I would have been in third grade. My grades correlated with the years, so it's easy to remember. And Again, yes, before your time. But
No, I was born then. I was just a baby.
so yeah, it's just a neat piece in my collection, and yeah, so I'm sharing it with you.
No, it is really cool. And I have pieces like that too that I've gotten from collectors or from designers that I will keep in
Mhm.
my collection forever. And that's one of the things that I love about diecast is the history, the stories. That's what I love about going through people's collections too and
Mhm.
seeing the cool stuff. Like I just met someone that showed me his original RLC like membership cards, like
Oh wow,
actual cards that I didn't know that they had. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so cool. And
yeah,
he's telling
way
me
back in the
about,
day.
yeah,
Yeah,
he was telling me about like Amy and all the people that he met and everyone that he knew. And I was like, wow, like that's just so cool. Something that I wish I was a part of then.
yeah,
But I am now. So I mean, I don't know.
good.
I just love hearing all these kind of stories because that's what makes up the hobby and it's made it what it is today. Like it's this huge hobby now.
Hmm.
Everybody's collecting. And there's just so much within the like so many castings that there's something for everybody.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, I enjoy buying off makes and models, knockoffs of stuff, and just other variations too, because it's just fun to see and have those. And a lot of them were like ones that I would have had as a kid or did have as a
Yeah.
kid. Find package versions of them and acquire those. So I have more than just Hot Wheels in my collection. I have Matchbox, I have Kenner Fast Ones, obviously these three, but many more as well. I have like their mail in. They had a belt buckle. I mean, they had a lot of cool stuff.
Hmm.
They even had like carrying cases, track sets, things like that too.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I collect all brands as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff, especially the older stuff. I'm really into the older stuff. The newer stuff is so readily available and very widely mass produced. It's not quite the same, doesn't have the same nostalgia, but
yeah,
there's a lot of cool stuff
yeah,
out there.
absolutely. Yeah, and there's even a lot of neat old Charger toys too. So you can other brands of Dodge Chargers, licensed and unlicensed alike.
Hmm.
I think I have an old Kidco, the old burning key
Oh
cars.
my gosh, the Kid Codes. Yes, yes, yes. I remember those.
But do you have the Dodge Charger Daytona version?
I don't. I don't. There's so much that I don't have.
Okay. Well,
Um,
got to keep collecting then.
I know, and going through people's bins of cars because that's usually where you find all these old ones.
Yes. Yeah. And those are the cheap ones too, and that's the fun part of it. Discover
Hmm.
new or unique or different. I find a lot of like monster truck toys from the 80s, not just Matchbox, but other off brands and some unique stuff too. So that's kind of fun. Even Galoob had a whole bunch of variations on the trucks that they made too for
And
the.
they had like these little, like almost something similar to like a micro machine. So I
Mhm.
had a bunch of those as well. Those are really cool. That was, well, it was like 70s, 80s, I guess.
Mhm.
80s. And then I think I have some Kidco Batmobiles. I want to say they're Kidco, I'm not sure. And they have the little plastic
Corgi.
figures in them. Oh,
And that
maybe it's Corgi, maybe.
Corgi did something like that where they had the little molded figures in there. And then you could get their larger 143rd scale that actually had features. So, like, I think they shot missiles, or like the James Bond car had like the ejector
Oh,
seat.
yes. Yeah, you're right. And it was like a little plastic thing.
Yeah. Yeah, those were pretty neat.
So, did you see the Super Bee that Neverland is doing for me? Have you seen that yet on my page?
Maybe
No,
sometime.
you haven't. You totally haven't because you'd know what I'm talking about.
No, I think I
I'm gonna
did.
send it to
Not
you and then
bring it, but
I'm
yes,
gonna send it to you and then you can tell me what you think of it. It is a Hot Wheels casting, and it's been customized. It's really cool.
yes, I sure I liked it. If you had it on Instagram, it does sound familiar. But I've been seeing a few collabs people have been sending me lately because that seems to be the trending things. Like, I'm doing this collab. I'm doing this collab. And
Hmm.
so, how many will you have made?
There's only 15 and three chases.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So three chases within those 15, or three chases on top?
I think it's three chases plus the 15 regulars. And we don't know how they're going to be released yet and the
Okay.
price point on them, but there's eight different influencers that they're doing them for. So of
Okay.
course I picked the Super Bee.
Nice.
But it's an old one, so it's a '69, and it's like a donut candy theme.
Okay.
So
Very
it's a
cool.
little
So I was gonna
different.
say, how do I get one?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't even know yet, so we're still waiting. But you're going to be at the Orlando show,
Yes.
and I think that is where they're going to drop.
Okay.
So we'll have to get you into the VIP party,
Yes, please.
and yeah, maybe you'll probably have to get me one too. No, just kidding.
Nice, nice. So is
But
it?
yeah, there is a Firebird too as one of
Ooh.
them. They're
Oh,
all candy themes. So
okay.
the Firebird is hot tamales, and then there's like a BMW that's like sweet tarts, and there's a bunch of different ones. So
Very cool.
Melinda has a gasser. That's what
Okay.
hers is. Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah,
very.
so it is kind of fun. I think it's cool to work with people to customize cars and do collaborations, and they're a pretty cool company because it's going to have an NFT too.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a chip on the bottom that you'll be able to hold your phone up to, and then
Yeah.
you get the NFT.
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember something like that in Vegas. They had a little party
Yeah.
with some cars like that. Okay.
Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah. We were all at it. Yeah,
Yes. Yes. That
the
sounds.
same people.
Well,
So
that'll be
that's fun.
nice. Well, I'm
Yeah,
happy.
I'm excited. I can't wait to get mine in person and see it. And I'll take pictures with my modern Super Bee. It'll be cool, and they're both white. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's like paying homage to my real one. Now I just have to get a '69.
Yeah, those are cool cars too.
I think that would be better than me getting a Super Bird. That might be a little overkill. So if I did like the Coronet Super Bee,
Hmm.
and then I could make it the same, I'm thinking like because I have the Ram Air kind of scoop on my hood, and
Hmm.
it's carbon fiber,
Oh,
and
nice.
it's all white. So I thought if I did the carbon fiber on a '69, oh my god,
Yeah, that would
that
be
would
cool.
be so rad.
Now, what would you have under the hood?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, because you could go modern too, right? Like, I
Good.
mean, Graveyard Cars put a Hellcat engine in that '70 Superbird that he had, or it was a Daytona, one of the two he had,
Yeah.
and that was pretty sweet too. So I don't know. I don't know. What would you recommend?
Ooh. I guess it depends on what you like. I mean, yes, you could always get a late model Hemi, but I mean, there is something fun about it, just having a good old school 440 as well. So,
I was gonna say 446 pack. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think it's you just kind of have to find the car, and then the build will sort of morph from there, right?
but I mean, I would have a manual transmission behind it no matter what engine you have.
Oh, definitely. I
Okay,
guarantee. Yeah, I would too.
okay,
No
good.
doubt. No doubt. If I could have had that in my Charger, I would have. But they don't come in the manual.
And that's why I never bought a Charger. I
But I
keep up
have
with
like
design.
four, four, five manual other vehicles, so I'm good.
I understand they never tested them for the crash test, something like that. But
Yeah, when I talked to the designer, they were saying that they didn't have any space in the floorboard or in the floor for something like that. They were saying there wasn't enough space. It doesn't seem right because I feel like there should be enough space, but whatever. They
yeah,
have
that
the paddle shifters, but it's just not the same. It's just really
yeah,
dumb. I hate using that.
no, no. I need to shift gears. I need to control the car.
Yep, I agree. And that's why I said I was like, I have five other manual vehicles that if I need to get my fix, I drive. But it is very strange when you go from driving manual every day, daily driving, to driving a Charger. It's just like it's weird. It's really weird because
Oh,
it's just not the same. Like you said, you don't have the control, and it's just a totally different feeling.
yeah. Well, that's I'll never know.
Oh well, you can drive mine. I'll have to drive it to LA. I was thinking about actually when I went to Jay's place, I was supposed to drive my car there.
Oh, no kidding.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to come back, but I'm gonna go for a road trip in it. So yeah, you can we can swap cars.
All right. Well, bring it down first, and we'll go.
Oh, we have to talk first. Okay.
No, no, no. It's all good. It's all good.
Hey, mine's a 1 of 10, right? So
No,
I don't know. It is. It's a 1 of 10, the way it was ordered. There's only 10,
now,
and I don't know how many are still alive, so.
well, there's that, but how do you know where you rank in the 10? Or is yours the first, the last, somewhere in
Oh,
between?
no, I don't. I don't know that info. No idea.
Okay.
And they're switching the plant over, I think at the end of the year, because they're gonna be going, hybrid and electric now, so this is gonna be the last times to go for tours of the plants and all of that, and all the different brands, because everybody's doing their changeover soon, which is kind of
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, they do that in the middle of the summer, I think. Yeah, for the next model year like that. So,
Hmm. I know, it's really sad. What do will you ever be a Tesla guy?
um, for a daily driver, no, couldn't do that. But to build a hot rod with a Tesla powertrain, I could do that. I just couldn't. I'd feel like I'm giving up my soul. I need something with a little bit more
They
car.
had a Roadrunner at SEMA that had the Tesla powertrain and everything in it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to deny. I mean, electric motors make a lot of torque right off the bat. So, I mean, you can make a fast vehicle out of it.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Just no, I'm not there.
yeah. I'm not either. I don't think I'll ever be. Ice all the way, right?
Yeah, for as long as we can, anyway.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, when the apocalypse hits, we're going to be the ones with the engines that actually run. So, anyways, there's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, I think we're out of time now.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Everybody loves you. I love you. I always see you at all the different conventions. It's
Oh,
always good to see you. So thanks for all the work that you do for the hobby and for all the collectors out there. On their behalf, I thank you.
well, thank.
And
It's a package we all share together. So it's you know my love. I'm glad I can share it with everyone else, and I'm glad that we're aligned on some of the vehicles that we like to collect. So makes me.
awesome. Yep. There they are again. All right. Well,
Cool.
thank you so much. And thank everybody for watching. And I
Yes. Thank
will
you.
see you next Thursday. I don't know who I'm going to have on yet. Maybe Brendan, you can give me some suggestions on who I should have on next week.
Okay. We'll talk.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
everybody. See you
Thank
next
you.
week.
Okay.
Bye.